You know that feeling when some little creepy crawly darts across the floor and you just call it a bug? Yeah, we've all been there. But that tiny world all around us is way more specific than we think. So what is the real difference between a spider and a beetle, or say a centipede and a crab? Well, let's break it all down.
All right, so here's our plan. We're going to start big with the whole animal kingdom. Then we'll zero in on what an arthropod actually is. After that, we'll meet the four main groups, and we'll wrap it all up with a super simple ID guide that's going to make you look like a pro. So, first things first. Before we can tell a spider from an insect, we need to figure out where they even fit in the grand library of life. And that journey starts with the animal kingdom. Okay, if you look at the big picture, the entire animal kingdom is like a giant branching tree. One of the very first major splits is between the vertebrates, that's animals with backbones, and a whole bunch of other groups. And our focus today is right over here, on this massive group called the arthropods. That first big split is actually super simple. On one side, you've got us, birds, fish, anything with an internal skeleton. But on the other side, you have the arthropods. This is a massive group that thrives without a single bone in their body. Instead, they're protected by a hard outer shell, kind of like a suit of armor. All right, so we've separated them from everything with a backbone. Now, what does it actually take to get into this exclusive arthropod club? What are the rules?
The name itself is the biggest clue here. Arthro is Greek for jointed, and pod means foot. So pretty literally, these are the jointed foot animals. That single feature, plus a couple other key traits, is what brings this incredibly diverse group all together under one banner. So here it is, the universal toolkit that every single arthropod carries. You gotta remember three rules. First, they all have a hard exoskeleton for armor. Second, their body is built from different segments. And third, they've got those signature jointed limbs. Every single one of them, from a tiny ant to a giant lobster, has all three. No exceptions.
So you take that basic three-part blueprint, and what do you get? An absolutely incredible explosion of diversity. So now let's meet the four major groups of arthropods that you have almost certainly bumped into before.
And here they are, the four heavy hitters. The high-flying insects, the mostly aquatic crustaceans, the eight-legged arachnids, and the many-legged myriapods. They all play by the same basic arthropod rules we just talked about, but this is where they start to show off their own unique personalities. Okay, one of the quickest ways to tell these guys apart is to just count their main body parts. See the insect on the left? It has three very clear sections: a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. But look at the arachnid. Its head and thorax are actually fused together into one piece, leaving it with just two main parts.
And here is another dead giveaway. Just check out the antenna. The crustacean on the left is rocking two full pairs, which it uses to feel and taste its way through the world. But the insect on the right, it only has one pair. It's a small detail, but it makes a huge difference when you're trying to figure out what you're looking at.
All right, first up, let's talk about the champions of diversity, the insects. I mean, this group makes up the vast, vast majority of all animal life on our planet. And their incredible success is built on a really simple and super efficient body plan, which we can see right here. For insects, the magic number is 3. They have 3 body parts, that's the head, thorax, and abdomen, and they have 3 pairs of legs, giving them 6 in total. You add in 1 pair of antennae and usually a pair of wings, and congratulations, you've got yourself an insect. Next up, we have the arachnids. This is a group famous for its spiders, of course, but it also includes scorpions, mites, and ticks. And you can see right away that 2-part body we were talking about, that fused head and thorax, called a cephalothorax, and then the abdomen. So, what's the easiest way to spot an arachnid? Just count the legs. They always have 4 pairs, for a total of 8. But just as important is what they don't have. 0 antenna. That's right, none. Instead of antenna, they have other specialized parts near their mouth, like fangs. Now let's dive into the water and talk about crustaceans. We're talking crabs, lobsters, shrimp, even the little woodlice you find in your garden. In any aquatic environment, these guys are the undisputed rulers of the arthropod world. So what's their signature feature? It's those antennae. They have 2 pairs, and no other arthropod group has that. They also usually have 5 or more pairs of limbs, and their exoskeleton is often extra thick and tough, forming that protective shell we all recognize. And last but not least, we meet the myriapods.
The name literally means many feet, and, well, it's pretty easy to see why. This group includes those familiar crawlers, the centipedes, and the millipedes. With myriapods, the name of the game is repetition. Their bodies are made of many, many similar segments, and almost every single one of those segments has legs. We're talking 10 or more pairs in total. And just like insects, they have one pair of antennae up front. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground and met all four of the main players. So let's pull all of that great information together into one simple, really powerful tool, your own personal cheat sheet. And here it is. This chart puts it all in one place. Seriously, with this, you can identify almost any arthropod just by counting 3 things. So for example, you see something with 3 body parts and 3 pairs of legs, it's an insect. Simple. But what if it has 4 pairs of legs and no antennae at all? Well, that's got to be an arachnid. See, it's just a simple process of elimination. So the next time you see a small creature scurrying across the floor, you don't have to just guess anymore. You're now equipped to be a backyard biologist. You can look a little closer, start counting, and figure out exactly what it is you're looking at. So what's the first thing you should check? Yeah, probably the legs.